Having failed quite miserably in their first duel with Dooku on Geonosis, Anakin and Obi-Wan realized that a new plan would be necessary if they were going to successfully defeat the former Jedi Master turned Sith Lord. Their plan went far and above simply engaging Dooku together, and worked to deceive him enough to give the two Jedi an overwhelming advantage during the duel aboard the Invisible Hand. In this video expose, I will describe how Anakin and Obi-Wan tricked Dooku during their duel in Revenge of the Sith, whereby they changed lightsaber combat forms to draw the Sith Lord into a sense of security, and then catch him completely off guard and unprepared. With Dooku appearing before Anakin and Obi-Wan in the general quarters of the Invisible Hand, the Revenge of the Sith novelization provides a detailed description of the lightsaber combat forms used by the three combatants, setting up the deception that would be used by the two Jedi. To start the duel, each of the duelists entered into their ready stance, with Obi-Wan entering into the balanced two-handed guard of Ataru, Anakin the ready stance for the Sheen lightsaber form, and Dooku sweeping into the low guard of his Makashi style. Therefore, the duel, from Dooku's perspective, seemed to have been straightforward. While he would be employing Form 2 against the Jedi, Anakin would be utilizing the Form 5 variant Sheen, and Obi-Wan would be attacking through the principles of Form 4. This is exactly how the opening of the duel played out from Dooku's perspective. Understanding the forms that would be used against him by the Jedi, Dooku was shocked by how pathetic the attack from Anakin and Obi-Wan was. For Dooku, his Form 2 style was the perfect counter for Anakin's Form 5 variant and Obi-Wan's Form 4, which also incorporated elements from Form 1. Not only were the forms utilized by the Jedi inefficient in trying to overwhelm a single opponent, but Dooku concluded that all he had to do was simply outmaneuver his two opponents through the precision and efficiency of his Form 2 style. For Dooku, the tactics of Anakin and Obi-Wan were laughably straightforward and easy to defend against. This completely drove Dooku into a false sense of security, where even he was amazed at how easily he dominated the opening moves of the duel. Regardless of Dooku's views on his supremacy over the Jedi through his use of the dark side and his mastery over the Force, he concluded from the opening strikes of the duel that he could not be defeated by Anakin and Obi-Wan. In fact, the Sith Lord actually held back in the duel, having found that he could have slaughtered both of the Jedi whenever he wanted to. All Dooku had to do was easily parry their incoming attacks, disrupt their balance and timing, and then put the plan that was devised by Sidious in motion, whereby he killed Obi-Wan and drove Anakin to the dark side. However, just as Dooku was lulled into the belief that his victory was ensured, Anakin and Obi-Wan revealed their trap by completely changing their lightsaber forms. Dooku was entirely caught off guard, and had to admit that even he'd been deceived by the two Jedi. Rather than using the Form 5 variant of Sheen, Dooku recognized that Anakin changed his form to the other Form 5 variant of Jem-So. Although both forms were considered to be Form 5, Jem-So pushed the attack to a greater degree than Sheen, allowing the duelists to bring the force of an opponent's blow against them, and seek to dominate the duel through powerful counterattacks. Even Dooku was surprised at this change in style by Anakin, as he understood that his own Form 2 style wasn't able to provide him with the kinetic power to meet Anakin's new style sufficiently, while also trying to defend against the second Jedi Master at the same time. But it wasn't just Anakin who changed styles, as Obi-Wan's initial use of Form 4 and the elements of Form 1 had also been nothing more than a ruse. Instead, Obi-Wan fell into the powerful defensive mastery of Form 3. His deception was particularly clever and troubling to Dooku, as his initial use of Form 4 gave the Sith Lord an overwhelming advantage. This was because Form 4 had been Qui-Gon Jinn's primary form, and because Qui-Gon had been Dooku's Padawan, and they sparred against each other thousands of times, Dooku knew every weakness of Form 4 and could perfectly counter it. However, with Obi-Wan's change to Form 3, Dooku was denied this advantage. Where Dooku had previously believed that he was in total control of the duel and could easily destroy his Jedi opponents, he now understood that he was in a deadly serious and dangerous duel, one that he may not survive. He now had to deal with the impenetrable defensive style of Obi-Wan's Form 3 and the aggressive and powerful counterattacks of Anakin's Gem So. Dooku's response was to rely heavily upon his mastery of the dark side. This was enough to briefly subdue Obi-Wan. However, it was not enough to overcome Anakin, who also tapped into the power of the dark side to completely overwhelm and kill the Sith Lord. Therefore, while Anakin's use of the dark side was ultimately the source of Dooku's defeat, the deception utilized by Anakin and Obi-Wan also contributed significantly to it, as Anakin's Gem So and Obi-Wan's Sarisu left Dooku reeling and desperate for a change in tactics that ultimately did not succeed. So there we have it, how Anakin and Obi-Wan tricked Dooku during their duel in Revenge of the Sith. We love making these videos, so why not subscribe for more fun Star Wars theories and discussions? Also, if you enjoyed the video, think about giving a like or leaving a comment. If not for me, for having just a really bad day.